All right. Hi, everyone. Day two. I hope you had a really good time yesterday practicing, right? That's good. So I'm sorry about sending wrong video. I got messed up with the YouTube, and I thought that I downloaded the first session, but I didn't. So I picked up the last video, and it was the hard choices number 7. Sorry for that. It took a while actually to download because it takes time to download to YouTube. It takes 1 hour or 2 to download a really long video. But eventually I did it, so it works now. Scheduled for today and the days after. So that what do we do? The first, you will answer your questions from the previous days. Still, if you have any questions concerning that exercises that we taught and learned and so on and practice, then we'll go to the drill of that exercise. I will ask one of you to actually give the words as the whole mantra goes, and others can practice during this time. So standing tall, for example, somebody will give inhale, tighten, lift, stretch, return, exhale, and it has to be within 15 seconds. And I will talk about the app that could help you with that to around 15 seconds. And you can really start, actually 16 seconds, not 15. So that will do. Then we'll do new exercise, and then we'll do the drill. And I will give you a little bit the drill and introduction of that as well. 11 seconds and 6 seconds for depends how which one cycles we are choosing. Then after that we'll have the questions. So and then we'll go to the next day. So now, your questions. All right. Do you have any questions? You want me to answer?
This is Siobhan. I had a question, Jerzy. I missed yesterday about the flexibility, strength, and speed.
Right.
I didn't quite understand. Is that you raise weights to address those 3 different ways? Was it speed or cardio?
So the thing is about that you do, it depends how many rounds you do each sequence. So if you do 1 round only and go to the next sequence 1 round, and 3 sequence you do only 1 round, that is a very slow, flexibility oriented, meditation oriented, and calming down oriented. So if you are upset or you want to improve flexibility, then every repetition should take about 16 seconds to complete everything in 30 minutes. The second way would be to do 2 rounds of each one, and that is more building the muscle. And every repetition should take about 11 seconds to complete everything in 30 minutes. And the third option is you do 3 rounds, 3 rounds, and 3 rounds. That's the ultimate happy body in the book way. And then you do 3 rounds and 3 rounds and 3 rounds. In order to make it happen, the repetitions are about 6 seconds each one. So, and that is more cardio. That is more building the speed, power, and more the related to the cardiovascular system and speed as well.
Got it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So we practiced last time repetitions that take 15, 16 seconds. So when the repetition takes 15, 16 seconds, we have a chance to be mindful about that. We have a chance to connect to the joy of this movement. We have a chance to make it meditative, mindful, and enjoy, the repetitions more and improve flexibility because of it. So we have the chance to more relax and more release the tension in the body.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Jerzy. I have a question. It's Marcin from Warsaw, Poland, from Żoliborz, not far from where you studied in the
From where?
Fire Brigade School. So I have a question for you. I practiced intensively for about 1.5 years, the Happy Body, and I had to have a break. I stopped because I found that through the exercises in the Happy Body, I was getting a lot of improvement in flexibility in the set exercises, but other parts of my body were getting very stiff in areas that I wasn't exercising. So I found that on one point I was getting very flexible, and on the other hand I was getting chronic stiffness in other areas. So I took a break, and now I'm coming back. But I was just wondering, will this repeat?
Yeah, you were doing something wrong then, that you were, stiff somewhere, because it's impossible to get stiff somewhere. So you could cut the recovery off, and then, or you cut the range of motion, and because of that, you were getting stiff. It's impossible to get stiff on the Happy Body.
Well, just as an example, if you're doing, for example, squats, then you go down and then you do the forward bends. This exercises the front axis. But for example, if I try to bend to the side at the waist, like you would, for example, in a yoga standing position, then the other part of the waist was, I found, extremely stiff. So I was just overflexed in one area.
Yeah, we were not getting flexible in the area, let's say, of all the waves and also the arches, right? So all those areas should make you more flexible. So you are not getting flexibility there. So also the other flexibility point is in the rocking trunk. So you are not really getting flexibility there because it's just the side hips. So sometimes you just do wrongly exercises. I hope that you will get everything the right way and you start moving that body in every direction. Well, very clear that a lot of yoga teachers are coming and learning the Happy Body, and they say the one thing that improves their yoga. It makes them more flexible. It makes them, more powerful.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
It will happen. You will find yourself. It's very easy to do something that would makes us the way that is not good, right? It's very difficult to do actually something that makes us better. As that's very clear across the board, right? So it's very easy to do what is wrong. It's very hard to do what is right. So it's just with the exercises, any kind of exercises, with swimming too. It's very easy to swim wrongly. It's very hard to swim the right way. So, learning that is crucial, and then hopefully you will get it here, because, my aim here is to spend every day on one exercise. So, hopefully everyone will get that to the T. And then after that, when you practice and learn how to be the master of it, you will be able not only to teach yourself, but you will also be able to teach others, and also answer questions to others logically and kindly. Why the Happy Body?
Absolutely, I'm completely sold on it, and I was when I was exercising, and hence I've come back, and I know that it's something that I have done wrongly or incorrectly. So
Correctly, what pointed out, right?
practice makes perfect.
That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any other question before we go?
Yes, if I may, Jersey, I have a comment and a question. My comment is I was very fortunate to be able to do our homework exercises with Diana from Toronto, who you know quite well.
Right?
And I must say that for both of us, I think that was the pace at 15 seconds was slower than we had, much noticeably slower than we had been doing. And my comment is I found it to be, if anything, much more challenging and it required at least as much, if not more, energy to complete the exercises. I do have a question, and Diana actually encouraged me to ask this question. I've had, yesterday I mentioned about arms, shoulder, and your comments helped very much when I practiced last night. I have a second problem, which is, I believe, hip related. And in fact, over the years, for example, on my motorcycle, I'll get almost like a Charlie horse in my hip, and it will be extremely painful and take 5 minutes to dissipate. From time to time, I have almost spastic pain in my hip. Last night, it was aggravating throughout the exercise. I'm wondering if you have any comments related specifically to addressing what I think is a hip joint related pain.
So, it could be that when you brace your core, what happens is you put the strain a little bit on the hip, so don't do that. It's your nervous system that is affected while moving the hip, and I would definitely visit chiropractor and with somebody, and if you did already, then you just work with yourself and avoid any kind of strain on it. When you sense it that you are doing something, sometimes when you tighten the stomach, put the strain, even that on hips. So avoid that for a while.
By the way, I did try and contact my chiropractor, and the office is shut down completely because of the coronavirus.
Right.
The other comment that I would make is that the mild hip pain is chronic. It doesn't seem to be aggravated very much by happy body exercises, but it's always there and distracting. And I think that there are a few exercises where I'm definitely not able to complete the exercise properly because of my hip problem.
Right. I will today talk about the waves and adjust also to the hip and to show how to do it, adapt that exercise to the hip back and solve the problem and so on. So every exercise will have adaptations and major adaptations to any kind of problems that people could have. So in a way, if you have any problems like you have the hip, decompression could work. So you could get inversion table and start decompressing your hip and also your spine, because your problem can be spine problem that related to the damage of the hip because of the spine. So, and vertebrae and pressure on the spinal cord somewhere, right? So it could originate there. So I would definitely get the inversion table and start decompressing the hips and the spine.
Very good, thank you.
Okay, all right. Anybody else? All right, so I would like to give you the solution for 15 seconds and 16 seconds and train yourself within this 16 seconds so it's easy for you to get the rhythm of it. And the best way is to use the app. It's called Round Timer. And it is, let me see whether you can see this. It has these three dots on the top, red, yellow, and green. And you can download it and you can set up any rounds that you want to do and any time, okay? So for example, I will start the rounds, 16 seconds rounds, and then I will show you the rhythm, and you can even see the up and the seconds passing by, so you can adapt yourself from the beginning, because eventually it will become internal. Eventually it will be okay. You just need to slow down. It's like that 16 seconds rep is a challenge to be slow, to be calm, to be um, relaxed, and that is it for, right? If you want to use it, the second way would be more the strength way, but this one is a different, the challenge of the mind and the body as well. So let me push it in. You will hear my okay. So when I press it, you will hear the sound. All right, and that gives me 16 seconds, right? So when the bass comes in, I will start inhaling, and it will give me the time when I exhale. And when I hear the second bass, I inhale again, right? So I should be repeating, I should finish the whole rap and ready for the inhale when I hear another bass. So the bass is coming. Let's say I'm in the position to inhale. Okay, inhale, tight, lift, stretch, return, and exhale. And then inhale, tighten, lift. You see, I'm more adjusting myself to the time so everything is smooth. Return, and then exhale. Inhale, right? So it gives me rhythm and gives me ability to adjust. So I would like somebody now to do that to others, all 6 repetitions, and others can follow. You can follow with weights, or you can follow with arms, and doing this, you experience the timing and you know the whole slow process of the repetition. So who wants to do that?
I will, Jersey.
Awesome. All right. So I will start, all right, the timing, and you can see, let me see if you can see it. Maybe you can see it, right?
Yep.
Right. Okay. So when you hear the next sound, you will say inhale and tighten and so on. And you just watch the timing, so it will help you to see. Others can do the exercise right now.
Inhale, tighten, lift, stretch, return, exhale.
Inhale, right? Go.
Tighten, lift.
Good. I will be talking, you do your stuff. So you do as smooth as possible, and
Exhale.
everything should be really nice.
Inhale, tighten, lift, stretch, return. Exhale. Inhale, tighten, lift, stretch, return. Exhale.
Okay, so you got the idea what we are, how we can help ourselves to train, to practice 16 seconds, one round through all the exercises. And of course, there's a time to go into the different position, right? To go on the ground and stand up. So it will be a second. So you can set it up for 15 seconds, 16 seconds, but you kind of see that you have 1 second to go on the ground and be ready there. And that's how you should use it.
Jersey, I can't hear you that well. My volume's all the way up. I don't know if other people are hearing well.
Okay.
I can hear him well.
Anybody that doesn't hear me?
As long as everyone's is muted their audio, it should be easier for everyone to hear. So make sure your audio is muted, and that should help.
Luis, still audio is not muted. So if you want to say something, you have to really unmute yourself, because otherwise we hear a lot of noises. Okay. All right. So now you can practice this 16 seconds. And when you have this timing, it helps you to make everything smooth. And after day 2, 3, you will just get the rhythm of it and will become the timing organic. You will enjoy the movement. You will hear the sound. The sound can be somewhere else, and you switch it off. And then you can do it and see only how much time it took you to complete the whole thing. If you go through all of it and it took you 13 minutes or 27 or 32, 33, you're around there, right? So that is a way of dealing with any kind of stress that you could have, and also work with the flexibility during the happy body practice. Any questions before we go to the gym and we'll face the waves today?
I have a question, Josie.
Right?
On the stretch, I feel like as I go to like maybe 4, 5, 6, I feel like my shoulders are not moving up as much. Is it just because of fatigue, or is it because of something else?
You're really tighter, so that is why. So a lot of people are tight in the shoulder blades, really, and then they don't have this long movement up there. So, I see sometimes clients, they don't have even very little, like, a quarter of inch. They just don't have anything up there, right? So it's very important that you relax completely, lock the elbows completely, and then you drag it up. Yeah, like you have a little bit, not much. Lock completely, and now do it. Yeah, you see, that's a little bit. You have about half an inch, 1 inch, right? You have it. So you have to connect to that, what the stretch is. So the very important part here, that you have to first lock the elbows and then drive straight arms up, right? Yes. Yeah, you're tight in the shoulder. So your trapezius, your shoulder blades are tight. So that's how you see it. When you really look into it where you are, you really see where your tightness can be.
Okay, thank you.
And work on it, because once you connect to what is tight, you have the chance actually to work on it. If you compromise, it's like you do something like people like do like this, and then they will do stretch like that, right? But the stretch is coming from the elbows straightening and not from really shoulders up and down, right? So you have to completely lock the elbows to make the arms completely straight. Then you don't have the movement. The movement has to come from the shoulder.
Got it. Thank you. Makes sense.
Right.
Jersey, I broke my elbow when I was young, and I can't quite straighten my my arm, and this is the arm that's got the bad shoulder. So do I just have to?
Well, then you really have to connect to look what I do, right? I can do that, right? So and you have to really connect it, but that is your challenge, okay? You can do it without locking. Just locking helps, but you know, if you cannot lock, I will do it without. You see, I will stretch it, right? But you have to connect to it mentally. It's harder to be not perfect and do it the right way. But you have to work on it, right? Because so then you have to relax arms completely and keep them the same way, and then lift the whole thing up, right? The shoulders up. So then so the arms have to be completely relaxed, not really locked, but relaxed, and no change. You can watch in the mirror whether you change the arms or not. So you don't have the fake stretch, because the fake stretch coming from straightening the arms.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the gym. Awesome. A beautiful day in Woodside. Look at that. Sunny. Finally, summer is coming to us. Warm. It's not good for coronavirus, so it's good that warm is coming. So. Any questions on opening wide? We are good? All right. Okay. So we are going to the waves. So there are a lot of, I will go into this exercise from the most limited to the most advanced. Do you hear me? Everybody hears me? Okay, good.
Yes.
So in this exercise, shoulders can be problems, then it can be lower back. And so to deal with this, you have to adapt this exercise to the how to begin. So the how to begin is the easiest way to go when you cross the legs, have the head down, you put the arms in front and cross them on your chest. And when you inhale, tight the stomach, you go up toward the ceiling and then go back. Then we inhale, tighten, up and back. So that would be one way. Now the second way would be inhale, tighten, up. Now a little bit more for the stretch and go back and exhale. The next would be to put the arms back And some people here, they have really inflexibility. Sometimes their arms are all the way up. So would be good to bend them and keep them bent. So inhale, tight, would be up with pointing the arms straight to the ceiling. And then stretch, back, and exhale. If you can be completely straight with the arms, and arms are really good, you have to use the exhale as the gravity to stretch the shoulders and so they can go down. So inhale, tight, lift, stretch, return, and let it go completely. So the shoulders have the chance to relax and go down. Eventually, those shoulders will go down. Now, the next level would be inhale, tight, and then lift, but forward, more 45 degrees forward, and then stretch, back, and exhale. So here is what is challenged is the lower back challenge. So when the lower back is challenged, then you have to be careful. That's why you go here forward and not there. So you're stretching spinal erector during this exercise. The next one is when you straighten up your legs and then inhale, tight, and then lift and align your arms with the knees. And then you stretch, you go back and exhale. So, and of course,
Is the fan on?
inhale, tight, and you go toward your toes, stretch
Thank
yourself
you.
back and exhale. And I like more to work on the level that arms are aligned with the knees, because there is a better drive from the core than actually toward the toes. Okay, so that would be all adjustment to the cresting wave, and then shifting waves is all the same. It starts with the arms here, inhale, and then shift toward the side and toward the ceiling, and exhale. Inhale, tight, up, stretch, back, exhale. Inhale to the other side, tight, lift, stretch, back, exhale. The same with the arms. Inhale, tight, up, stretch, down, exhale. Inhale, tight, up, and back. Then 45 degrees. Inhale, tight, 45 degrees, the arm, then drive forward 45 degrees, and along the other arm that drives toward the wall in front of you. So 2 drives. Back and exhale. Inhale, the other side, stretch, back, exhale. Now, legs straight. When the legs are straight, usually people have problems with shakes and lower back. So wait until your flexibility improves so you can hold those legs freely like that without shake. So if you shake, it means you're holding. Sometimes people hold like that. It's just the flexibility of the hamstring is very limited. If you are flexible, you should keep your legs that way and keep the legs freely, and as long as you walk. I'm not holding my legs. My legs are just straight up. So flexibility is everywhere. So just the legs are up. That's it. So I can hold that for as long as I want, right? So inhale, tighten. All right. The arm is, again, aligned with the knee. Now stretch, back, exhale. Inhale, tight. To the other side, stretch, back, exhale. You can make pauses. It's good to make pauses to not to blend the lift and the stretch. So inhale, tight, lift, pause, stretch, pause, and back and exhale. That gives more possibility for improvement of flexibility. Focus on the whole repetition is on stretch. So inhale, tight, lift, stop, stretch, stop, back, and exhale. Okay. Questions?
Hey, Jersey, I got a question here for you. What causes doing a sit-up or doing a crunch to cause the lower back to hurt? Because I'll have that occasionally as well. What is it that's going on there? Why, if you're working on your stomach, why does that go into your lower?
We are stretching the spinal erector, but it's the same here. When you stretch the spinal erector, it's the same as you would be like this way. So that stretch of the spine is the stretch that can cause impingement of the nerves, and if the spine is very tight, it can cause the cramps and Charlie horses, all this around the back. So you have to be careful how you open the spine, how you adapt the spine, and the flexibility of it. So microprogression here, take a year to open that spine, because that spine is pretty jammed and tight. So the older you are, also the more vertebrae are jammed and closer to each other. So disc is flattened and comes out. And when it comes out, it presses on the nerves. And then we have the feelings of pain in our legs and everywhere in our legs, right? When it comes to from the hips or toes or ankles. So if you have any pain during the night, that you have pain in your legs that you cannot explain, almost 100%, it will come from your spine. So it can be that you can have pain in your thighs or in your knees or your calves or your shins or your ankles or your toes, and you have this achy pain. And when you wake up, it's definitely almost 100% will come from the spine, not from the problem of that where it is. There's no problem with your ankles, and if you didn't hurt them, there's no problem with your knees if you didn't hurt them. So it has to come from the spine. So in order to deal with it, it would be chiropractor the first, decompression, and slow process of microprogression within the happy body, and get that inversion table. I know everyone should have the inversion table, because that is one of the best way just to start decompressing your spine. And those movements help, right? Because once you really pull, you pull the whole spine up.
Thank you.
Good question.
Hi, Jersey. I had a question. Joel in Connecticut.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
So on your first one, on the basic one, how about if you're not comfortable just lying on your back with your knees flexed up and your feet crossed? Can you have your feet down on the ground with your knees bent?
Yeah, yes, you can put the feet down. Usually it is that it's easier to cross the feet, actually hold them that way, than actually put them down. So, but if you put them down and it's good and feel good, yeah, start there. You find always the way how to make it comfortable for you to start. The most important is just to start, let's say, to engage the happy body, how to engage the happy body with the easiest way when you have many pains and problems and tightnesses and so on. You have to find a starting point when actually it's good for the body likes it. So the worst would be to challenge the body too much, that the body is challenged and you have more pain next day. So that's not good. So you have to reevaluate yourself. That's why, I pointed to really minimal beginning, so you can actually start somewhere.
Okay, thank you.
The one thing is also that sometimes flexing the core is causing the problem. I forgot about that. So don't flex it. You just do the movement without tightening. Sometimes the tightening causes the spine, to flatten, and that causes also when the spine is jammed to press more on the nerve. So don't do that. So you always have to adjust to the most easy way to start. And if that progresses, you go to the next one, but take yourself time, because jam spine is not a result of an accident. It is a result of 10 years or 20 years, right, of living that way. So give it time. If you give yourself a year or two, it will decompress it. And the microprogression is really working, but you have to spread. You have to spread yourself through time. Enjoy this movement. Enjoy moving it, and enjoy moving through the day. So you really like it. So you like to move, and you don't really get fixated on achievement. You have to get fixated on liking it, but not really on the achievement. Achievement will come as a result, like you practice violin on a daily basis, and you have to like violin too. You cannot get upset and because if you get your progress will not be as good, and you will not be happy either. So we probably have a lot of unhappy violinists there too. So you have to really enjoy that what you do. So you have to slow down a little bit, and it's not much. You slow the progression, and when you slow the progress and you create micro progression, then the body, the mind has chance to adapt everything, and the whole journey is joyful. The worst is actually to drain yourself to make the records too fast. If you make the records too fast, then the body is not adapting to it, and it's harder to make the records and harder to make the records, and we get disappointed, we get upset, and so on, and then eventually quit or get hurt.
Jersey?
Yes.
So are we using, you said you don't need to tighten your core if that's not working for your spine. So what are we using, our backs to pull ourselves up, or what?
No, you're using the front,
Your
front to pull yourself forward. The back is stretching. The spinal erector is stretching, right? You're stretching the spine that way. So you're stretching all the back, and you are using the front to lift you.
Using the front, okay.
Right.
And when you're crossing, sorry.
Yeah, it will be the opposite when we go to the arches, right?
Say again, sorry.
We'll go to the opposite. Tomorrow we'll go to the opposite.
Ooh, got it,
right?
got it. Okay.
We'll be using the spinal erector to pull us up and stretch all the rib cage in front.
Right, okay. And when if we're crossing our arms to do the 40 degrees, then are you again aiming towards the opposite knee, basically?
Yes. You aim, when you really go up and you go toward the ceiling, you go only to the ceiling, right? And then because the spinal erector is just the all lower back pains and problems that. So you aim only the ceiling, so you put the least possible stretch on the spinal erector, right? And the lumbar area of the spine. So when the spine is getting better, then you start aiming 45 degrees.
So that's a progression.
And you go to the opposite knee and 45 degrees.
Okay.
Good?
Thank you, yes.
And now it's just the same breathing patterns, right? So you can have 16 seconds, or you can have 11 seconds, or you can have 6 seconds, right? So today we'll have a little bit practice on the 11 seconds. We'll see how you with the 11 seconds. Or you can practice both, 16 seconds and 11 seconds, right? It's really up to you how you do, but I will give you the homework. Any questions here where when I am in the gym about these two exercises?
Jersey, hey, this is Mike. I just had a quick question on the inversion table. So on that, and if you're just starting out, is it like 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day? What's the progression there?
I would use 3 times a day. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 3 times. So around like after you wake up and then you go around, you warm up a little bit, and then about like 30 minutes after, and about 5 minutes each time. So if you can stay 5 minutes each time, so first you can start with 30 degrees stable and 5 minutes. If you don't have any discomfort in your ankles and knees and hips and so on, but feels good, then you go to 4 to 5 degrees. But you can use the table when you wake up after about an hour, right? 30 minutes after an hour after you wake up, and then around lunchtime, and then before you go to bed, just before you go to bed. Because when you decompress and you go to bed. So a lot of people, when you wake up with pains during the night, you definitely have the spine jump, spine and crash. So, you know, the really inversion table is crucial. You know, weightlifting we do in decompression when we hang upside down. So from the chin, right? So those who can do that, then they can do it. I will show you how it is for fun, entertainment, right? Let me see if you can see let me see. So for this, we have something like this. So that's the boots. And that's what we do every day in weightlifting. Every weightlifter has to decompress. So that's the hygiene for the spine. And that hygiene should be with everyone every day, because living means compressing the spine. And that's why we put that into the book as the really necessary hygiene for the spine. Okay, I hope you can see it. So we angle it and we go down. See, now we can have a little bit weights to actually stretch a little bit more, twist.
Wow.
With this. See, that's what we do, some twists. And also we can work with the, with the core to develop the strength of the core. Oh, that's why we decompress.
I have always referred to you as a monkey, and now you have just proven it.
Ha! Did you see it all? Because I don't know if you saw it.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Awesome. All right. So that's what I mean the happy body is. All right. So that you need to keep working on it, and you are getting there, right? That is the whole aim, to become that person, because that's the excellence, and why to do something else, right? It has to be the road toward excellence. If it's not, what are we doing? Entertaining ourselves? Right?
Right. Hey, Jersey, on that note, I had a question.
Right.
And I think it's just been answered. I like to do my very first sit-up in sequence 1 on a ball, so that I can open up the front of my body a little bit at the beginning of my entire workout. I'm assuming you would be okay with that.
Well, don't do any improvements when you do the happy body. You can do those things outside, but
Outside.
because you can create with the ball, you can create too much flexibility and some problems for the body that you will have a problem to control.
Okay.
So don't go with any foams, rollers, and balls and so on. Don't do those things. But you can do those things after. If you like it, you finish the happy body, then you do it. Because you can create some problems for the spine, and you will not know why you have a problem.
Right. So keep this a constant so that we can identify particular weaknesses.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Got it? Awesome. Okay. Office time. Tea time. Monkey is good. I love this thing,
I always call you a monkey. You are like a monkey to me.
Hey, it's like to be on a chin like this and hang and twist and so on. This is really awesome. And spine feels so good. And I do it usually like 3-5 rounds, yeah, of that. So if after 3 rounds I'm really good, then I don't. But if I am not, then I follow with other 2 rounds. So the twists are important. And sometimes I take, about 55 pounds in my hands and I twist. So it helps me more decompress that spine. But I have to have a feeling that each time that spine is free. If it's not free, it's tight. And you sense it's tight. So when you get into inversion, you will sense those places in the body like hip is tight. And then, the pull is that, and it's tight and you will feel it. So when you feel it, you cannot work too hard with it. So you have to be gentle, give it time for opening that hip. And it can take a year or 2 and it's okay. It's just like, you just have to work with that gently so it doesn't become bigger problem. So to imagine is, you imagine like a tennis ball is in the muscle, and the muscle is all around the tennis ball, right? And the tennis ball is the tightness that causes a knot in your body. So if you pull it too much, you'll make tears around the tennis ball, and the tennis ball will get built up and be bigger. So the thing is how to pull much that the tears are going into the ball and actually releasing the ball all around, and it's not causing build up. When the ball is getting healing, it's going to build up. So it's not building it. So it's like bone spurs too. The bone spurs build up because of the tears that we do too much of it, and that healing happens and the body builds more. So it's not supposed to build more, but it's supposed to release.
Like scar tissue that builds up.
Yes, exactly. The same way. The scar tissue would treat it the same way. What is needed? Patience, microprogression, and very smooth, gentle work on daily basis. That's what the happy body is, right?
I have a question, Jerzy. What is what is the equipment called you buy for your ankles to hang upside down?
Oh, these are the gravity boots,
Mm-hmm.
and then the equipment, the inversion table that you're on a table. So it's a special table, and let me go and I show you the table, because we are here. It looks like it's important.